Hi, my name is Tegan Smart Blake. I'm 25 years old and I'm a sign language interpreter. My hobbies include book reading. I'm currently in 2 book clubs. I enjoy spending time with my family and my friends. In the summertime, I really enjoy riding my bike, and I've currently been obsessed with HBO, so I've been watching a lot of documentaries and TV shows and stuff like that. I've actually only been a sign language interpreter for not even a full year yet. I graduated last year in June 2020. I decided to become a sign language interpreter for many reasons. So when I was 5 years old, I think that was the first time I can remember seeing sign language, and from that moment I knew that's something that I wanted to learn. And then when I got older, I realized that you could be a sign language interpreter, and from that moment I knew that this was a career I wanted to pursue. But also I identified that this is one of the few careers that I've come across where you have an opportunity to learn, to have lifelong learning. As an interpreter, you get to work with so many different professions in legal settings and medical settings and all these different fields under the scope of your profession. So I think that's something that I've wanted to incorporate in my personal life, and something that I strive for in myself is to be a lifelong student and to constantly grow and evolve. So I felt that this profession matched my personal goals well. I have faced obstacles in my pursuit to becoming a sign language interpreter. In my schooling, actually, I faced a lot of discrimination, and through that experience, I learned a lot of lessons. I learned how to depend on my community, how to really seek God and ask Him what His plan is for my life. I had a lot of opportunities to just, grow and to be independent. I actually pursued my studies of interpretation here in Toronto, and then I took a year off, saved some money, and moved to British Columbia, where I later graduated. So yeah, I think what I learned from that lesson was perseverance, for sure. What steps I took to get to where I am today. So I went to school at George Brown College, and I took the American Sign Language and Deaf Studies program. It's a 1-year certificate, and that's where I would say I got a lot of my foundation in the sign language, outside of obviously taking other courses in the past and socializing with the deaf community previously to taking that program. And then I pursued a sign language interpretation program in Toronto as well as in British Columbia. Some hard and soft skills that are required for this profession, I would say definitely the most important hard skill is to learn American Sign Language, and I feel like the only way that you can learn this language authentically is through immersing yourself in the deaf community and taking ASL classes taught by deaf instructors. And a soft skill, I can think of many. You have to be adaptable, you have to be empathetic, you have to be a fast learner, you have to be resourceful. So those are just a few. My favorite part of my career is using ASL every day, feeling that I have an opportunity to learn and grow every day. I really enjoy socializing and meeting new people, and having that opportunity to network through my work is really awesome. My least favorite thing about working is as an interpreter is there are times when you're interpreting for someone that you don't agree with the statements that they're making or their philosophy, so that can be very challenging, but that's just a part of the job. A day in the life of my professional career can vary depending on the type of work that you accept. So you can wake up in the morning and go to a university and interpret a lecture, and then go and do doctor's appointments. Then you can go into a video call center and interpret calls between a deaf person trying to make an appointment at a pharmacy, or them calling the bank, or something like that. You can interpret in art shows, in theater, in galleries, in court. It just varies. So I think I'll walk through my day-to-day life. I work in education currently, so I work lecture style, so I'm interpreting lectures in one of my jobs, and in my other job I interpret. Well, now that things are virtual, I've been interpreting a lot of translation work, so working with textbooks and interpreting lessons of a textbook and recording it and then sending them off to the school. What keeps me motivated is my charge as a Christian to do my best and to serve people the best way that I know how. As a sign language interpreter, I'm working with two communities who usually would not be able to communicate with each other. And I think that just pushes me to work my best and to bring my best self to the work, because it is a ministry to me, and I feel like I am serving both communities. And yeah, I think as a Christian, it really just keeps me motivated. And of course, I love working and having that opportunity to provide for myself and to build for my future, so that also motivates me. What or who inspires me? I would say I gather a lot of inspiration from Black interpreters who came before me, Black deaf interpreters and Black hearing interpreters that have come before me here in Canada, in America, in Jamaica. I get a lot of inspiration by their work and just their drive. Yeah, I think I find the most inspiration from them, and also just, you know, Christ. Like, he was our greatest example, and I strive to be more like Christ every day. What my long-term career goals are, one of them is to be involved in starting, developing a community of BIPOC interpreters, or just be involved in a BIPOC interpreter group. I don't have to be the one who starts it, but I would really love for this profession to have a safe space for BIPOC interpreters, deaf and hearing, to come together and support each other, and to just talk about the things that are so nuanced and specific to our lived experience. How do I maintain a work-life balance? I schedule everything. I have alarms, I have reminders. I definitely try to make sure that I invest myself into religious work just as much as I do in my professional work. And I think that helps, especially now in COVID, to allow me to feel like I'm really a part of a community and a church. And yeah, I just make sure that I do try to have that type of separation in my life, especially physically. Prior to a couple months ago, I was working out of my bedroom, but now I have moved into an office space in my house, of course, but I've moved to an office space to kind of have that physical separation, so I know when I come in the office, it's time to work. When I go into my room, it's time to relax. What advice I would give someone who was considering becoming a sign language interpreter is to just endure whatever you are faced with, persevere, be committed, be open-minded and patient. I think people often see that, there are interpreting programs that are 2 years long and there are other interpreting programs that are 4 years long, and they think that they can develop that skill of being fluent in a language and be really skilled as an interpreter in that short amount of time. But actually learning a language takes a lot of time, takes a lot of experience and immersion. So I feel like it's really important to have the social aspect of using the language in conversation so that you can be more proficient in the language. And then really, when you get to the point where you're pursuing the career of interpreting, to definitely know what your goals are, know what you bring to the profession, and to stick to that.